Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you can join me again here, where this channel is solely dedicated to collecting physical media from all over the world. That's 4Ks, Blu-rays, and DVDs, and I've got an exciting review for you today. I actually got this in a little early, so I was excited to get this one out, so I worked really hard to get this out to you guys as fast as possible, and I think there's some interesting things you're going to find out about this. Today we're diving into Donnie Darko, the complete 4K remastered actual release by Arrow Films. And there's a lot of interesting things I found out about this set. I already loved the movie. It's a cult classic. And I'm not going to dive too much into the movie itself, but I'll just give you a brief overview before we go into this set and some really interesting things about this set. Now, Donnie Darko, when it originally came out, was not a hit in theaters. People didn't watch it, they didn't go to it, they didn't understand it, the ones that did see it, and it didn't actually do well until it came out on home video, and Blockbuster started actually getting tons and tons of rentals. People would rent it multiple times. And it ended up becoming a cult classic because it's one of those films you've really got to give it more than one try, which means you've got to watch it at least twice. And in this case, you're probably going to want to watch it probably 4 times because there's 2 different cuts of the movies that I'm going to go into here. But as far as the film goes, it's kind of a sci-fi time travel mystery psychological thriller. And if any of those types of genres interest you, I highly recommend watching the film. And I will post in the description section below this video all the links for the 4K release as well as Arrow's Blu-ray remaster of this. I'll post those down there, so whether you have 4K or Blu-ray, it'll still apply to the same thing. If you want to check out the film, the links for those will be listed down in the description section below this video. That way it makes it nice and easy. You go out there, click it, and if you want to buy this, it is available there. But let's get into this some more here. Now, Donnie Darko, I love the film. I said it's got a massive amount of actors and actresses in it. It was done by Richard Kelly, and he's done several other films, but I kind of feel like this was his personal favorite of mine, at least. I do like some of his other ones, like Southland Tales. The Kane's cut of that was pretty good, and I obviously did like The Box, but I don't think they were personally his best. I personally think this so far has been his best film, in my opinion. So as far as this goes, to give you just a brief rundown of some of the actors in this so you know how many big name actors were in this movie, you had a few. Like, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal plays the main character. Then you obviously had Gina Malone, Maggie Gyllenhaal, James Duval. You had Mary McDonnell, Catherine Ross, Patrick Swayze, and you obviously had Noah Wyle. And so there's a bunch of other hidden actors throughout it that were young at that time. I mean, Drew Barrymore, I totally forgot was in it until I watched it again recently. But it's one of those films that it had a lot of actors for the time, and it has grown in massive cult status. And I love what Arrow did with the box art on this. I mean, I think it looks great. I like the art they used. And a lot of people don't give this film a chance because they think it's a horror film. And it's not a horror slasher film. It's really just one of those movies you've got to watch it more than once to actually get the meaning behind it. But love what Arrow did with the box here. On the front here, it's got a little like slipcover around the top here that I'll get around to the back here. I did take my HDR sticker and stick it on the case because I actually liked it where it was at. So I did keep that and add that. But yours, it'll be on the outside of the plastic. So it's up to you if you keep that there. Then on the side, it's the nice thick limited edition Donnie Darko 4K UltraHD Remastered set, and I like that. Then on the back here, it goes through basically explaining some of the things that are here, and as I said, this is an actual slip cover that comes off. I keep mine all the time, but on the back here, it does have another nice art, and I know this makes it look like I said a horror film, but the art I actually liked the green, bluish color on black, and there's a whole mystery behind it, which I won't want to give away, but time travel and things like that are involved. Anyhow, so goes into the film, and I'll go into more details on what's on the back here after we go through the rest of the unboxing here. And before we get into the rest of the unboxing, I'm going to cover something real quick with all of you, so make sure you stick around. We got lots of exciting things to cover. Please make sure to click the like button down below, the subscribe button right next to it, and the bell notification. That way you get notified just like when I come out with these hidden releases or things that come in real quick and I send out. You'll be one of the first ones to get to watch any of these reviews. So make sure you click that like, that subscribe, and the bell notification. That way it notifies you. And as always, all the links for everything I talk about will be listed in the description section right below this video. And you can follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook, which is In Search of Physical Media, the name of the channel, where I release a bunch of hidden extra things, little reviews during the week, things I get in, letting you know about what I think of those as well. So there's extra content if you follow me on there as well. All right, let's dive right back into this review here. All right, so coming to the side here, obviously this is the limited edition collector set by Arrow. And I've talked about some of these on my Instagram and Facebook before. I love Arrow's limited edition releases. When they come out, I always try to pick these up. Now, they're very limited, so once they sell out, they are gone. And that's where I'm going to address something on the disc here just for a second before we get into more unboxing here. Big elephant in the room has been that basically I had to test my discs because Arrow mismastered the first disc in this case. So before we do all the unboxing of it here, you have two different cuts of the film that I was talking to you about. You have the theatrical cut and you have the director's cut, which is the second disc on the back here with obviously the rabbit mask. And they didn't label the discs, which I wish they would have labeled them with something saying theatrical cut and director's cut. They didn't, but that's okay. I mean, there's only two discs, so you can basically figure it out. But anyhow, this is a theatrical cut. The first disc does have a mismastering error. And I want to point that out for a minute before we get into this because I know a lot of people have asked me about it since I talked about just getting this in. The disc itself is mismastered. Am I upset about it? Sure. I wish that Arrow would have checked it more thoroughly to make sure. It has a stutter as you're watching it. So basically throughout the entire disc, there's numerous scenes where it will just basically like this, like you're stuttering through it. And it doesn't matter what player I played it on. I tried it through all 5 of my 4K players that I have, and not one of them did it do it differently. So it is not simply that the disc needed cleaned. I cleaned it as well. It is the disc itself was mismastered. And basically, they're going to end up sending out replacements. And that's why I want to address that right now. I'm not worried about them sending out replacements. They've done it before because they're a boutique label and they stand behind their products. They are going to send a new disc replacement out. So if you buy this set because you want the limited edition right now, don't worry because Arrow Films is phenomenal. If there's anything wrong with it, they replace it at no cost to us. So that is why I support their company as a boutique label, because even if that is the case, I'm not upset about it because they're going to send a replacement disc. I'm sure of that. So in that case, having the theatrical cut like that, waiting to buy the limited edition if you want it, I would get it now because they will end up sending out a replacement program that basically we notify them and then they send us a disc of their charge. We don't pay for it. So I would definitely still suggest supporting this release. Now, the other disc was fine. The director's cut, I watched the whole thing. It was perfectly fine. There was no glitches, errors. It didn't have any of the stuttering. So in that case, if you buy it right now, you can watch the director's cut twice. And then when you get to the theatrical cut, once they replace the disc here in the coming months, then you can watch your theatrical cut twice. But that's just a little bit of a caveat. I wanted to get that out of the way because a lot of people have asked me about that. So I'm not that upset about it. Yes, it did affect the review score at the end of this video that I'll give on this a little bit, just because I wish they would have caught it. But things do happen when you're talking about a boutique label Blu Ray manufacturer that they're doing a lot of this stuff in-house, remastering, and they do such a great job and their packaging is so great that I'll let it slide because I know they're going to take care of their customers. So let's get into the rest of this here now. So when this came out, I kind of jumped over this real quick. Here's the front of your case, same as what you had on your box art. It says Arrow on the side, and then obviously the back of your case, same as what was on the back of that slipcover of the limited edition case that I showed you. Now, I'm going to talk about this for a second here. It does have audio options on it here. Now, audio options are DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 in English. Then it has 2 Dolby Digital stereo and audio mixes in 2.0. That's it, and they're all in English. So this is an English-only audio options that are on this release at all. Subtitles, English only on the subtitles. There's no other subtitles available, so you do only get English subtitles. Both discs are region-free. So, to give you an example, if you want to import this or buy this anywhere in the world, I know a lot of you watch this from all over the world, this release is 100% region-free. So, both the theatrical and director's cut with all the special features, both discs 100% region-free. And I know a lot of you ask me why I mention that, because there are some countries that are releasing region-locked 4K Ultra HD releases. I will always cover that on this channel, and I will always test every disc to let you know, so that way you're not wasting your money. That's what I'm doing for you. So, this is a complete region-free release. The movie did come out in 2001 originally, so it was filmed on film stock. So, when you're watching this film, as I've been showing you up above screenshots from the 4K release, it will have the natural film grain. And I think they did a phenomenal job with the film grain in this. They did not DNR it out. The HDR representation comes through clean, crisp, and strong. Lights to darks, the variations and the colors stand out phenomenal on this 4K release. Now, I was only able to notice, obviously, the director's cut of it being so well done because I had a hard time watching the theatrical cut. But what I did see of the theatrical cut looked the same remaster and just as good as the director's cut. It's just that stuttering. So once they release the discs to replace that theatrical cut, I'm sure that will be exact same standard of quality because it looked the same in the scenes that were fine as the director's cut did. So I love Arrow's release of this. It definitely makes the Blu-ray release they did obviously look a little bit not as great as this release. Their Blu-ray release was good, but this one, the HDR and the color variations, the light to dark, and just the range of scope that the 4K image brings out of this is so much more depth and clarity that if I'm going to recommend a release for any of you, it's going to be the 4K release of Donnie Darko, because compared to my Blu-ray copy that I have from them, this one, in my opinion, blows it away. If you have a 4K TV and 4K Blu-ray player, the image on this is so much more better than even the Blu-ray release was. But the Blu-ray release is not a shab. So if you want to pick up either of those, they're down there below. Now, it's 2 4K Ultra HD discs in it that I talked about the theatrical cut, which is 113 minutes is the theatrical cut. The director's cut is 133 minutes. I prefer the director's cut. It's going to be up to you which you prefer. Each one is slightly different, and there is quite a bit of difference in runtime between them, and the film's edited and done quite differently. So that's where I said you're going to want to watch each cut at least twice to figure out which one you like the best, and they're both included in here, beautifully remastered in 4K. Now, let's go into the rest of this unboxing here a little bit more. Now, opening up in here, they always send out these postcards in here of upcoming releases and advertisements. And then the limited edition comes with a bunch of these nice little postcards, which I really like. And I like all of Arrow's limited edition releases because of all this little stuff. I like collecting these little postcards, and this is the actual theatrical poster on the back of it. And then obviously pictures from the film. And these are all the different pictures from the film in there that they've got in there. I'm going to go through these quick here. And on the back of each one, it's the same poster of Donnie Darko. But pictures of the film, all different actors in it. And I do like these. I like these little extra hidden tidbits that they throw in as specials. Then obviously I showed you the inside of the case. You have your 2 discs here. And then I'm going to show you inside the rest of the limited edition set. And this is why I think the limited edition set is worth it. You get this massive cardboard case that everything goes inside, which looks really nice on your bookcase or where your collection is, like behind me. I love having these on there. They stand out nice, and I love these cases. Then you get a book. And it's a beautiful hardcover book with that same dark and greenish blue color on it. Artwork on the side, and then obviously blank on the back. And this book is nice. I have liked every single Arrow book that they've come out with in these limited edition releases, and I always try to get these if I can, because these are a great collector's item. The value of these goes up almost instantly after you buy them and after they're sold out. I mean, they go anywhere between $200–300 on average after that. And you buy them right now. For my set, I think it cost me about 38 bucks on Amazon is what I spent for it. So that's not very much considering it's going to go up to, I bet you mine will be worth 200 bucks, something like that here in a year or two. But that's where it's kind of one of those things I do like collecting these limited edition sets. And all in English in here, because this is an English release, the whole book is in English, and I love it. Tons and tons of pictures and behind the scenes and essays, and just can't recommend the book enough, and I did love it. I love looking through things like this. So I love the book in there. I think that's worth, I mean, in my opinion, I'd pay $15 for that book on its own. So you take that off the price, you're really only paying, what are you, around 20 bucks for the movie? Then you also get a poster. And I love their posters. I've talked about this before in my Tremors release, that I absolutely love the smell of the posters. I don't know, they use some kind of ink in their poster that I really, really like. But anyhow, poster is really nice. If you can see that whole thing, Donnie Darko, real nice poster. And then on the back, obviously it's got the secondary artwork for the book of Donnie Darko, and I really like that too. So I think their limited edition releases, they definitely give you your money's worth on them. The amount of content that they put in these and the amount that they give you for it is really great. Now in these, it does have all the special features from the previous Blu-ray release. I was not able to find any that were included in that Blu-ray release that they did that are not included in this. And then obviously this limited edition release has a bunch of extra things because it has the book that wasn't in that other release before. And obviously your posters, your postcards, and that goes into a bunch of essays and things like that. But it has all your audio commentaries on each of the cuts of it. It's got a bunch of different behind the scenes, things talking with Jake Gyllenhaal, talking about how much this film's grown in cult status. And then obviously it goes into all the different production, costume designs, short films, So I'm not going to go through all of them. There's so many special features I could read through here for like 20 minutes, and I wanted to keep this video a little shorter for all of you. So I do recommend this release. As far as my review score goes for this, I already loved Donnie Darko to begin with. When this originally came out, I loved the film. I remember renting it actually because I never went to see it in theaters. And this film, I will tell you, is rated R for explicit language. And that is mostly the primary thing in it. There is some violence, but it's not extreme, but it is rated R because there is some filthy language in it. So I did want to let you know, if language bothers you and things like that, this does have explicit language in it. But I didn't think it was too heavy that it made it to where the film was unwatchable to me. And that's up to each one of you how you feel about that. But I do love the sci-fi time travel, and just it makes you think. It is a movie that you have to watch more than once and get into the characters, and you really start to realize some of the people you thought weren't nice or creepy or whatever aren't what you thought they were. And it's just a wonderful film. I do like it. Because of that, for this release, even though Arrow mismastered that first disc and they're gonna have to send out a replacement, because they're such a great company and I've never had any issues with them ever not supporting their customers, I'm not worried about that, and I know they're gonna take care of us. Because of that though, I did ding a couple of points just because I have to wait for my disc that they're going to end up sending to replace that theatrical cut, but you can watch the director's cut, which is another great version of the film. Because of that, this release is going to get an 8.9, which is a great review score for this 4K release. If you want the limited edition, now is the time to buy it. It comes out here in a couple of days, and I know I got mine in early, so that's why I'm getting this out to you before the release date. But if you're wanting the limited edition with everything in it, that has the big spine, and then obviously it has all your book, your posters, your postcards, all the extra specials they stick in this, this is the time to buy it on release date. Within the first week or two before they sell out, that's the only way you're going to get all of this content with the book that's wonderful in it, and I suggest reading. There was a lot of great things that explained hidden things about the film. It was a great read. So if you're wanting the limited edition, this is the time to get it. 8.9 review score for Donnie Darko 4K. As I said, yes, I wish the first disc would have been fixed properly, but because Arrow is such a great boutique label, they're going to take care of us, and therefore 8.9 is a great score for this release. Let me know what you thought about this release, if this one surprised you, if you haven't seen the movie, and if you're thinking of picking this one up. I hope this is one that excites all of you and kind of intrigued you if you haven't seen the movie, because Richard Kelly, I personally think it's one of his best films that he's done, and I suggest starting with this one if you're looking for an entryway into his films. They are slightly a little bit weird and gothic sometimes, but all around have a tying story that you get done with and you're like, wow, that really made me think, and that was really entertaining, and now you want to watch it again. And so for that reason, I recommend picking up the film, and 4K Ultra HD release of this by Arrow. I recommend. The director's cut looked amazing and there was no issues playing it whatsoever, and for that reason alone, this 4K comes recommended from me. I suggest picking it up. I hope all of you had fun with this one today, because I sure did. I really was excited about this film and I really enjoyed this film. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me out, as well as make sure to click that subscribe button and the bell notification next to it. And as always, I have had a great time today with all of you. I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I look forward to when we get to do this again real soon.